Tisa's playing chess with emotions while everyone else is stuck in a checkers game. One moment she's stirring the pot, the next she's acting like she got burned by someone else's fire. But DelRay came ready. Facts lined up, timeline tight, no speculation, just confirmation. The victim card's been overdrawn, and the audience isn't buying it. Emotional manipulation only works when people aren't paying attention. Turns out, when the truth speaks loud enough, it doesn't need to scream.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DelRay Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me once again. I have a very special topic to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, and it's so prevalent throughout our society now, right? I wanted to deal with this in relation to the Diddy situation, the Diddy trial. Tisa Tells has been just going. I mean, she's just been going on this rampage about how she is a victim. Like I said, I call it victim claiming, but I want you to get into. I want to get into when people gaslight. See, I think Tisa Tells think that I think she thinks that we're incapable of understanding what's really going on, if you will. And what she's been doing is she's been gaslighting this situation in and around the Diddy trial for profit, if you will, right? The real gaslight. When the liar or the person who gets caught in the lie tries to play the victim. And I need you to understand this. Like, you know what I mean? You got to understand this. Being called out for lying is not oppression. It's not being targeted. It's not being bullied, right? It's called accountability and being accountable for what you say, right? But right now, Tisa is flipping the script in real time, trying to gaslight the black community by claiming she's the victim after being caught pretending to be black, using the N-word, and speaking misinformation during Diddy's federal trial. Right? We've seen some of the videos out there in which, she continually goes in. There was a live video she did yesterday, and basically when she was saying that, when they asked about her race or what was she, you know what I mean? Just basically trying to get some context into who she is and her background. She got offended and basically said, look at her hair, and as you can see how kinky her hair is, that she's black, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, creating a diversion, never really fully answering the question directly. And once again, like I said, the gaslight is on. And like I said, she's been caught in a few lies. And now here comes the victim claiming or playing the victim, if you will, right? Like I said, once again, let me repeat that. She lied, got exposed, and now is crying foul. Once again, she lied, she got exposed, and now she's crying foul, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to understand this. So let's break down gaslighting. For the people who don't know what gaslighting is, let's break that down. She posed as a black woman to gain credibility and access. Basically, that's racial fraud. Racial fraud, right? They say you perpetrating a fraud, like you trying to pretend to be something that you're not, right? That's basically racial fraud, if you will, right? She used a racial slur publicly, laughed it off, and then said she was one of us, meaning African American, ladies and gentlemen. These are facts, right? When people rightfully called her out, she shifted the narrative. She shifted the narrative, and this is what she said. She said, basically, they're bullying me, right? I'm being attacked, right? I'm the real victim, right? Once again, victim claiming. Now, this all started off with victims of domestic violence, Cassie, Jane, Diddy, and like I said, sex trafficking, all of these things that happen. Somehow, some way, Tisa Tells has gaslit it to a situation in where now somehow it's about her being bullied. It's about her being attacked. Basically, it's about her being a victim, right? Once again, creating this narrative around, Diddy's allegedly texting people about attacking her. None of these things she can give any clear evidence about, ladies and gentlemen. But more importantly, like I said, using the N-word, being confronted about it, laughing it off, saying that she was one of us, right? When people rightfully called her out, she shifted the narrative. And she's good at it. Up until now. Up until you've seen this video. Right? Like I told you, there was a video I did about her on my YouTube page. The video's gone, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know what happened to it. There was no copyright claim. There was no nothing. The video is now gone. So somebody took it down. And it wasn't me. And so, like I said, however that works with YouTube, I guess it just works that way. If you will, right? So now, they bullying me. I'm being attacked. I'm the real victim. Look. That's not accountability, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you call manipulation. That's when somebody's trying to manipulate you into thinking that you are at fault for what they did, for the reason why they lied, for the reason why they misrepresented themselves, for the reason why they said the things that they said, that they said, and you know what? Yeah, no, I'm the victim. How could you do that to me? It's not accountability. It's manipulation, or an attempt at manipulating, if you will, right? I need y'all to understand that. And so, as we delve deeper, each and every video that you're going to see Tisa Tells come out with, right? It's going to be an attempt at manipulation. So the fact that video that was on my page that I'd done a while back about her lying is gone now, right? It lets me know that I'm on to something. Who took the video down? There was no copyright claim. I received no email or nothing of that sort. Point blank, period. Somebody's working with somebody, right? And like I said, I don't like to make any speculative thoughts or theories, but the video's gone. Why? How? I don't know. It is what it is, though, right? So understanding that, right? And you gotta understand, just let me tell you this. Let me tell you what that is. It's basically classic gaslighting, right? So what she's trying to do, she's trying to make us question our reaction to her deception, if you will, right? So, once she's got caught out there lying, basically saying that, she was responsible for the security, the increased security at by the U.S. federal marshals, because of her, and she was responsible for that, and various other stories that she told, the RICO situation, and numerous other stories that she had talked about, right, ladies and gentlemen, right? It's classic gaslighting. You can see it. If you really want to see it, you can see it. If you don't, then you won't, right? She's trying to make us question our reaction to her deception. You understand what that is, right? But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We're not confused. We're not confused as to what she's trying to do and what she's been doing. That's why so many people have been calling her out, right? We're not irrational. We're not being irrational, right? We're not overreacting. We're not doing none of that, right? We're calling out a fraud, and she's weaponizing victimhood to escape it. I'm going to say it again. We're calling out a fraud, and she's weaponizing victimhood to escape it. This is the same playbook Rachel Dolezal used. The same tactic Jessica Krug used. get exposed, then flip the focus. As you can see, questioning about, hey, what's your background? I'm one of us. Look at my edges. You can see my edges. They nappy and peasy like other black women. What? What does that mean? For the people who are non-African American, they have no goddamn idea what that means. But that's what she tried to do in trying to explain that, right? So so I said, we're not confused, we're not being irrational, and we're not overreacting, right? That's the attempt to make you think that that's what you're doing, when somebody's gaslighting you. Listen, I'm being attacked when in generally, right? And when in reality, right? Her thing, I'm being attacked, they bullying me. When in reality, they attacked, right? Our trust. So basically, Tisa Tells has attacked our trust in who she was and what she said she was representing until she got called out for the lies. And once she got called out for the lies, she went on from attacking the judge at times, to the defense lawyers at times, to the jury, ladies and gentlemen. This is serious. This is serious. And so, once again, you have to understand, when the liar gets caught, that's what they do. They try to gaslight, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to understand that. Check it out now. And to be real clear, ladies and gentlemen, accountability is an abuse. Holding someone accountable is not abusing them, ladies and gentlemen. Holding someone accountable is not abusing them. Criticism isn't harassment. You see what I'm saying? So, because there's these key words or gaslighting words, right? You know what I mean? I'm being bullied. Why are you abusing me? You know what I mean? And all of these questions and things that are asked, it's simply not that. Criticism is not harassment. Accountability is not abuse. And being held responsible for your own lies doesn't make you a victim. It makes you exposed. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Right? So Tisa, if you're listening, here's some truth you won't get. Oh, that's funny. It's funny. Oh, Tisa, no, really though. If you listening, right? Here's the truth. Here's some truth for you. A little truth that you can probably digest if you want to, but I know it's gonna be hard for you to digest. You won't gaslight your way out this one. It simply won't happen, right? You did what you did. You sold the RICO. It wasn't the RICO. You sold all of these things involving Jane, Cassie. You're trying to sell them as victims to us. Like I said, the jury has spoken as to what they believe as evidence, right? A person is free to feel what they feel. And like I say, they want to take that away from nobody, freely thinking what they want to think, like I said. But because you think it does not make it true. But because you feel it does not make it true, right? The evidence was laid out as the prosecution laid it out. The defense laid out their argument. Once again, the jury came back with their decision. I respect that, whether I agree with it or not. I'm not advocating for Diddy. Diddy doesn't need me to advocate for him. He had 8 lawyers advocating for him. And the outcome was the outcome. Point blank, period. Right? Like I said, being held responsible for your own lies, Tisa Tells, does not make you a victim. It makes you exposed. So Tisa, if you listening,
I'm sorry, what?
Here's some truth for you. You won't gas your way out of. Listen, you co-opted black pain, Tisa. You co-opted black pain. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at my edges. Y'all know I'm black. That's what you call co-opting black pain. In the most trivial sense, in the way she explained why she's black or why she's African American. Look at my edges. They peasy and they nappy. Like what? Like I told you. I've never heard any black woman in my family say nothing like that about their edges as far as their ethnicity's concerned. I'm sorry, right? Never. I've heard them say that in regards to them needing to get their hair done. Girl, my edges are rough. I gotta get my hair done. You understand what I'm saying? And for the people who are of African descent, understand what I mean by that, right? Another thing, you used our trauma for clout. Tisa Tells used black trauma for clout. Disinformation, misinformation for clout. The guy walking up to her asking her, hey, what do you think about the jury? He's ignorant just like you. What do you mean? The guy just asked you a question. She flew off the handle. For clout. Talks about how Diddy's sending these people and got texting people and doing all of this, that, and the other. None of that's true. She hasn't showed us any evidence of that. She's just saying it. She's making assertions as to something happening. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for clout. The trial aftermath. There is no trial aftermath. People are commentating on what they think Diddy might get and so on and so forth. But from Tisa Tells, if you listen to her, you know, Diddy's launched this attack on her. It's simply not true, ladies and gentlemen. Tisa Tells is doing that for clout. None of that's true. Creating up these fictitious situations as to somebody after her, bullying her, attacking her, and all it is classic gaslighting. The victim is trying to, or should I say, the liar is trying to play the victim. She got caught lying, ladies and gentlemen. Right? And she used black trauma for clout. Trying to act as if she was advocating for Cassie, advocating for domestic violence victims, advocating for sexual assault victims. She's not that. She started YouTube doing makeup videos. You understand what I'm saying? Understand the origins of what this is, and then you'll get it. Like, oh, she found a lane. Okay, cool. It like I say, you don't gotta lie to kick it. That's one of the things that we say. You don't have to lie to kick it. You can report it accurately, and then and also state what you feel. But it's another thing to co-op it, right? Lie about it, get called out about the lie, and then basically saying, oh, they're bullying me, they're attacking me, and try to play victim. It's classic gaslight, right? And when the curtain got pulled back, listen, when the curtain got pulled back on Tisa Tells, she didn't apologize. Hell no. Still hasn't apologized. She doubled down and played the sympathy card. Right? Once again, I'm going to tell you again. When the curtain got pulled back on Tisa Tells, ladies and gentlemen, about her calling the N-word, and all of the things that she's done, all the lies that she's told, right? When the curtain got pulled back, she didn't apologize. She doubled down and played the sympathy card. Now, I'll tell you this. The video that I was talking about that I had up on my page was up there the other day. I did the video and talked about it the other day, and now the video's gone. Tisa Tells was putting a picture up of a stick figure of herself, saying how she worked for the FBI, YouTube FBI. We don't know what that is. People were saying certain things like that. Once again, it is what it is, right? Ladies and gentlemen, that's not journalism. What Tisa Tells is doing is not journalism. It's not even podcasting. It's not doing none of those things. That's emotional manipulation. And it's time that we stop letting it slide, ladies and gentlemen. It's emotional manipulation. And it's time that we stop letting it slide. I get it. I understand. Tisa Tells basically came into the game doing makeup videos, and she kind of found a niche speaking on things and so on and so forth. The Diddy trial happened, and it kind of, blew her up a little bit. People were looking for her because she was speaking to one side of the situation and masquerading as if she was the representation or the voice for victims. Simply not true. Simply not true. It's all for clout. It's all for financial gain. And then once she got called out for her lies, she gaslighted tried to play victim. And the emotional manipulation has continued until this day, even saying that there's an aftermath to the Diddy trial that involves squarely, or should I say circularly, around her. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, drop your comment in. Tell me what you think and what your observation has been.
This is no filter news.
Like I said, once
raw,
again,
bold,
your boy
and
DelRay.
uncut. Hit that sub, stay loud,
Straight
and
gang.
catch us on the next drop. We don't fade out. We level up.